Yeah, I knew nothing about this movie. I didn't even see it commercial. Like I saw.
Really?
Yeah, I saw like one of those 5 or 10 second like a TV spot or something.
Okay.
But so it threw me. I was kind of watching it, was very, very interesting. Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristin.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your new favorite pop culture YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. And as always, this is a spoiler show, so you have been warned. On today's episode, I think we're going to have a short conversation about the new Netflix film, Don't Look Up.
Yep.
There it is! A giant comet whirling its way towards Earth! Can you see it?
I can't! My head is in a bag!
I did have the FBI put that bag over your head. They don't do that. The CIA does, but I made them do it.
You know, I had a feeling.
It's a good feeling, because that is what I did, and it was very funny and cool.
Apparently there's a second credit scene. Did you watch all the way to the end?
I did not. Did I? I did. Yes, there is.
What's the second one?
Jonah Hill survives.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
He like climbs out of the rubble and he's like, Mom?
Oh, no. I mean, that would never happen, but that's nice. Okay, no, I see it here. Yeah, we cut it out halfway through. Because I knew about the mid one, but I didn't know about the final one. Okay, all right, that's fine.
That was a joke that, I mean, miles away you saw that coming.
Sure. Yeah.
But I still enjoyed it. They were naked.
Yeah, in the cryo.
I thought it was great. Well, being naked in the cryo is one thing, but that they just sort of meandered out.
Yeah.
I thought it was very funny. I knew nothing about this movie except for that it had a lot of A-listers in it. But I think I did that thing that we hate, but yet sometimes we're the problem.
We all do it sometimes.
I just assumed it was leftover. Like, I just assumed it was like a bad movie that Netflix bought.
No.
I didn't know it was an actual, like, swing.
Netflix made this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was sort of, at several points during the movie, I was like, this is better than I thought it was going to be. And
it's also, it's Adam McKay.
He made that Watson and Holmes movie that was terrible. I just kind of Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, look it up.
Oh, yes, you're right. I mean, he has made clunkers, but I mean, everyone's made clunkers.
I mean, there was that movie 34 or whatever that was all those A-listers that was so god awful. There was somehow
Did he make that too?
No.
Oh, okay.
Somehow I just didn't know what this was. And that aided my viewing experience.
Okay.
Because it really straddles the line between comedy and drama.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was rough.
Mm-hmm.
That first 40 minutes. The whole movie's really tough. And I even messaged you guys and I was like, I don't think I can watch this. I wasn't
gonna make you. So.
I felt like that Ryan George. I don't like this.
I don't like that.
I don't like anything about this.
Well, so the thing, it's how close it is to reality for me.
Well, yeah.
That bums me out. But the reason,
but in a way that it's not even really, it's just true. Like, it's not a satire.
No, it's barely a satire. It just is true.
That's just what's happening.
100%. I mean, there are scenes in this that I am like 100% sure were just filmed at Trump rallies. And there are literal scenes with like Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo Dicaprio being like, look at the sky. It's literally right there. And for real, Meryl Streep's campaign signs say, don't look up. That
was searing.
Super searing.
Searing.
But like really uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I ultimately decided that I think I loved this.
Yeah.
And my reasoning is that we're assuming you know what it's about. It's Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence discover a comet heading towards the Earth.
What's a planet-killing comet.
Mm-hmm. And it bums everybody out, so they just pretend it's not happening. The president, the media, that's basically the movie.
Cate Blanchett.
We're gonna have to get you back.
I knew I'd like this guy.
Is he a plant? Okay. Well, the handsome astronomer can come back anytime, but the yelling lady, not so much.
Not so much.
and
So I was
Tyler Perry.
I was 2/3 into the movie and I go, that's Cate Blanchett. And my mom goes, what?
You hadn't known it was her in her previous scenes?
I couldn't figure out why it wasn't Elizabeth Banks. I kept trying to make it I did not recognize. I think they were in bed. By the time I realized her and Tyler Perry's chemistry was so good, those characters were so funny and weird and real. But no, why I decided that I actually kind of loved this movie is I was genuinely invested in the characters at that dinner at the end.
Oh my God.
And I got emotional.
Yeah.
And the actual end of this movie, I think, is so, because the whole movie you're sort of like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're not gonna destroy the world. And they do. And it's so weirdly gratifying.
Yeah.
Like, and there's this gorgeous Bon Iver song as the world is sort of being destroyed left and right. I'm really sad that we didn't see Ariana Grande and Kid Cudi win.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like they show her microphone flying through space.
Yeah.
But
no, that's a good point.
It gets so visceral. It gets so serious. So I don't know. I kind of loved it. And again, in a way that we've recorded 3 things today.
Yeah.
And the theme is I watched it once and I think I loved it, but I'm going to need to see more to.
So I did straight up love
Did you?
movie.
Okay.
I thought it was so good. It was so well done. I really like Adam McKay. I was not a fan of Vice, but I think that The Big Short is one of the best movies to come out in like the last decade or so. And I think the way that he handles topics of deathly serious natures with comedy is important. And I think it's really smart. And I do have to agree with my husband that unfortunately the people who need to watch this are not going to.
No.
Which is a bummer because this is also a very thinly veiled critique of how we're handling climate change.
That's what I started to say is everyone keeps saying the like in sort of a dismissive or like, we get it, it's COVID. And I'm like,
it's not COVID, it's climate change. Who is in this movie? Leonardo DiCaprio's in this movie. This is about the polar bears, bitch.
And I'm like, there are COVID illusions. I was like, but this is about the climate crisis.
This is about climate change, 100% for sure.
And I genuinely think people don't think. I went to it like the Titanic. I was like, I genuinely think people don't think bad things can happen anymore. No. And I don't know how, because we live in a post 9/11 society and you all won't stop talking about that.
Yeah.
But
well, like 9/11, again, another Adam McKay movie, the housing crisis or like the bubble burst. And I mean, it's just all of these things that we've lived through, the recession, all of this stuff. And now COVID, and everyone is just like, well, everything's fine. The emperor definitely has clothes on. And I'm like, that bitch is naked. Like, what are you thinking of? And I think that kind of stuff with the president, with Meryl Streep. First of all, she looks
amazing,
fucking amazing in this movie, like so stunning. But she is just actually the worst. Her and her son, Jonah Hill, was just so fucking funny. And they literally are just like, well, the midterms are coming up, so we're just not going to do anything until after the midterms. Meanwhile, there's 6 months left before this is going to literally destroy Earth. And then everybody dicks around so long that they don't have any like extra chances to do this thing. And it's just like, that is what is happening with climate change. We are running out of chances. We're like on the last chance. Like Mark Rylance's drones are up there and that's all we got. And that's it. And it's just like really a bummer. Sorry, I did love this movie. And I will say, I think this might be my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio performance ever.
Really?
Ever. Because I can find him sort of boring sometimes. I think that he phones it in sometimes. And I think...
Bash. I was trying to remember what the company was. Yeah.
And I think that he takes things too seriously sometimes. But this felt like he was having a little fun in this movie. And for him to have been having fun in a movie that is about something that he cares so deeply about in real life, I think is a real testament to him. I also thought that this was like a super fun return for Jennifer Lawrence.
Well, maybe the destruction of the entire planet isn't supposed to be fun. Maybe it's supposed to be terrifying and unsettling.
Please don't do that.
And you should stay up all night, every night, crying. When we're all 100% for sure gonna fucking die!
A really interesting character, you know.
I love how, because she was young.
Yeah.
And she was taking it the appropriate amount of serious. Like, she was taking it seriously. And people didn't like that. Because even the commentary about, like, the male versus the female, like,
yeah,
because he's kind of doing a Dr. Fauci thing.
Yeah.
And, like,
she just loses her whole shit on TV. And she's like, we're all gonna die.
And again, Cate Blanchett and Tyler Perry, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I have feelings about. I thought you didn't like it. I was anticipating you being like,
oh no, I
need
really
this.
liked it. I mean, I don't need it. I'm not. This is not directed at me. I'm trying to do everything I can to, like, combat my own carbon footprint. And also, I'm not a corporation or a dairy farm, so I'm really putting out very little.
But no, and I mean, I liked his journey and trying to navigate, like, his own issues with this broader scale.
And also thinking that he's doing more by working from the inside, and then slowly coming to realize that no, he's just been swallowed by the machine and he's not getting anything accomplished inside.
I have to say, I think the funniest bit for me was the snacks.
Yes.
They charge an arm and a leg for this stuff. 10 apiece ought to do it.
Oh, okay.
Here, grab a water.
Thank you. I've got Kate as well.
Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
Because it comes up 3 times in the movie.
I want to say at least 3 times. I thought it did 4.
Well, if you include the first.
Okay.
And all 3 times, I did not know that that's what she was going to say. And that would break me.
It was
like, that would be the general, like.
Maybe he just gets off on the power, you know, like any kind of power. It's like he knew eventually that I was going to find out that the snacks were free.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was just like a power play.
Because I think it's when she's talking to Timothée Chalamet on the hood of the car towards the end, and she's like, but that's the thing, is he must have known I would find out. So why would he have done this?
Is he getting off on the power?
He's a 3-star general in the United States Army. Like,
and it was so funny because when it happened, I was like, that's odd.
Not true. You get free shit from the White House.
They're at the White House, and the general brings them, like, a bag of chips and, like, a bottle of water, and was like, that's $10. And she's like, oh, okay. And they, like, take out money. And I was like, what a weird detail. But it was the kind of thing that, like, he did it with such authority that I was like, all right.
But then he leaves before they have their meeting. So he just leaves them there. And so Jennifer Lawrence goes to get more snacks. And the lady is like, oh, that's free.
She's like, where do I pay? And the lady's like, you don't pay for that.
It's the White House.
She grapples with it through the entire movie.
So funny.
The Bash stuff was, and again, it's like, I kind of like that.
Because he was like 4 people. He was Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and he was a little bit of
Tim
Steve
Cook,
Jobs.
yeah.
I mean, he was like all of the things. And I think Mark Rylance, first of all, he and Cate Blanchett both were wearing teeth. He was wearing way more deliberate teeth, but honestly, his whole vibe was really working for me with the white hair and everything.
Well, he had such certainty that even watching this movie, knowing what's happening, I'm like, well, I mean, he says he's got it. Like, and then there's a moment where he's like, I have to go to the bathroom. And she's like, I have to go to the bathroom too. And I was sort of like, surely not.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what's going, and it is exactly what happens.
It's exactly what happens. And then they just, like, leave Jonah Hill, although that does give Meryl Streep a very good Catherine O'Hara and Home Alone moment later, where she's like, oh shit. I think I do have to talk about the Timothée Chalamet for a minute. Okay. I love him just in general. This character, Yule, I think I don't think they pronounce it Yuli, so I think it was Yule.
Called Diogo. He's gonna freak out. We say hi to my friend real quick. Dude, he's obsessed with you. We love you. We can't stand Orlean either.
Yo.
What's up, dude? Shut the fuck up. Check out our room.
Yo, bro.
So funny. I was just like kind of weirdly obsessed with him the whole time. My husband was like, oh, I bet this is like the hottest you'll ever find. I was like, definitely not. And it's not. But by the end of it, I was so captivated by it.
Well, you're sort of like Jennifer Lawrence, where she's just sort of like,
why
all
not?
right.
Yeah, all right, let's do
they
it.
get engaged.
They get engaged. And then I swear to God that
Her family sucked so hard.
her family,
That
they were like no politics to come back home. Whatever. We want the jobs the comet is bringing or some fucking bullshit. Get off. So anyway, they during the course of the movie, Leonardo DiCaprio has left his wife, played by an always welcome Melanie Linsky. And so once he realizes that
I saw a comment that was like he has an age appropriate love interests and children.
And age appropriate children. I read one piece of trivia that one of his sons is like only 14 months older than his current girlfriend. I was like, whatever. So anyway, they are once he realizes that he's not like helping inside the machine, he fucks off. He finds Kate, Jennifer Lawrence, and she's there with Timothée Chalamet, and they all decide to go to his home and just like spend their last time on Earth together with Dr. Teddy, who is played by Rob Morgan, who was also, I think, very welcome through the whole movie. Anyway, they stop at the grocery store to get food, and he says something about, what are those little potatoes called? And Jennifer Lawrence says, fingerling potatoes? And Timothée Chalamet says, I fucking love fingerling potatoes.
Oh, I fucking love fingerling potatoes. Let's get.
It's my favorite delivery in a movie all year. I don't know what it did to me, but I can't stop thinking about it.
This movie was sort of full of that.
It was amazing. I'm crying.
No,
it was so funny.
Because again, it's like I need to watch it again because I'm having that sort of thing where it's like sometimes I watch like a comedy movie by myself and I'm like, it was good, but it was just kind of like there. And then I watch it again with people and I'm like, this is the funniest thing.
I like
it because it also was weirdly, and I know Adam McKay, but it was reminding me of Eurovision.
Sure, I see it.
It up to and including the Demi Lovato, Ariana Grande of it all. Like.
Chell, I still love you, and after many sleepless nights, 3, I want to take you back.
And so I sort of feel like
Riley Bina. Yeah.
So I'm like a closet Ariana Grande stan, or not even closet. It's like, it's news to me. It's like, I knew I had a passing fondness for her, but I think people forget that she's a very gifted comedian.
Yeah.
Or they just don't know.
She's very good at comedy. She like carried a Nickelodeon show for a
well, she didn't.
Years.
She was a sidekick, but she brought more to it than I watched a whole video about how Nickelodeon couldn't figure out what they were doing.
Yeah.
And there's moments in the movie where I'm like, I don't like that. And then I sort of was like, I think that's the point.
Yeah.
And because even like when Leonardo DiCaprio comes back to Melanie Linsky, and I'm sort of like, part of me wanted her to be like, go die in a ditch. Like,
yeah, but
and
on your last day on Earth.
No, so as it was happening, I was sort of like, and then I thought about it and I was like, life is hard.
Yeah.
Like, they have a family. I just spit everywhere.
I spit when I was talking about Timothée Chalamet. I couldn't keep it in.
But this movie was full of that where I'm like, there's no reason for why that should be what happened. But that's the choice that was made, but it was. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it also, because it really does vacillate back and forth between comedy and drama. And because it's polarizing. I think it's got like a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes, but I'm seeing it's like the people who like it really like it. And I think it's still being considered an awards contender. Do you think?
I actually don't know if it's eligible because it didn't go in theaters first, did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
If it did,
everything I saw, they were talking about it like an awards contender.
Okay, well then, I mean, fingers crossed, because I do think it could, for like screenplay maybe.
I was like, I mean, do movies that are that polarizing, divisive, do they get awards?
I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody and Green Book both did.
Yeah, but I think the RT was like up for those.
I mean, maybe.
But it's also a comedy, and comedy, I don't know. It was very, I saw
his last 2 movies, Vice and The Big Short, both got nominated for shit, so it's possible.
I'm curious to see who's going to watch this and what people will think about it and say about it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's number 1 on Netflix.
You're right,
and
it's got 55.
It's got the star power for one thing.
I am like not joking when I say that about Leonardo DiCaprio. This is one of the most captivating performances I've seen from him in years. Like literal years. Because I didn't care for The Revenant, and there's so many things that I'm just like, I was talking about with Rachel the other day. I was like, I really, really like him in The Great Gatsby, but he is, again, taking it too seriously, as you should when you're playing Jay Gatsby. But it's just like, but that's the kind of thing where I'm just like, I haven't had fun watching him in a movie since like Catch Me If You Can. That's like 20 years old. So I really, really had a good
curious
time.
to see what this movie's legacy will be.
Yeah,
if it will find an audience, if it will be one of those movies that we revisit or re-examine and feel differently either way about it. I'm very interested. The president's, I don't know what to call it because you can't call it a dick pic, but president's.
Yeah, it was like her
nudes.
Yeah.
And just the way the media is like, at first glance, an armpit.
Yeah. And it was also like because she had a SCOTUS nominee that was also inappropriate, and it turned out that they were just like fucking each other, and it was like there was so much going on.
She actually like I hate to say this because the character is so terrible, but she actually looked amazing.
She looked so good.
So yeah, basically that's that. I kind of loved it, especially once I got over the just like audacity, the sheer audacity of all of it. How dare you? But
it does hit super close to home. I think especially for people like us who are like, all I want in the world is for someone to take something seriously, and like not a single person was taking any of it seriously. So much that her boyfriend, who was played by Himesh Patel, who was in Yesterday, wrote a story about I fucked the crazy girl from the news, and I should have known sooner or something.
Did Rachel watch this?
No.
We should just go watch it with her.
We watched it while she was gone for Christmas, but I mean, I just really, really, really liked it.
So
yeah.
I'd say watch it.
I agree. Definitely. It's on Netflix. I mean, if none of the people that we already discussed pique your interest, Ron Perlman is also in this. I think
there are cameos. They're spoiler alert because they're good, but like the fucking Chris Evans, to say that he has 2 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
I was a full minute into his scene where I go, that's Chris Evans, and because it was the voice. It wasn't even his face because he's wearing like sunglasses and stuff.
Of stuff. So he actually was originally up for the Mark Rylance character, Peter Isherwell, the like billionaire. But he had to drop out for scheduling, and so I just was sort of like, that's amazing. Also, last thing, Jonah Hill has described his character as, what if Fyre Festival was a person? And I'm obsessed with that. So, yeah, I definitely recommend it. I mean, it might really irritate you, and that's your own thing, but I definitely think everybody should go watch it. It's really funny. It's really poignant. Yeah. There you go. So it's on Netflix. You can follow us to let us know what you think on Twitter @SoI'mWatching. We are also on Instagram @SoI'mWatching the show. We also have a website, soimwatching.com, which links out to everything. And yeah, if you just would like and subscribe on YouTube, and if you feel like donating any money, that would be great. And
I always think you're pointing to me, and I'm like,
give him money. We have to buy fingerling potatoes. Loved it. I can't stand it. Okay, that's it. Bye.